Okay, so the answer to letter A is so A is asking what the required reserve ratio is, and the reason why the answer to that is zero point 0.2 is because the required reserves is 2,000 and the demand deposits is 10,000, and if I divide 2,000 by 10,000, I get 0 0.2. Okay, so the reason for letter B, part 1, why excess reserves increased by 5,000 is because when the Federal Reserve purchases $5,000 of bonds, then the bank is going to need to put some cash into the assets since it's at zero, and then um, this is so that the bank can then lend it to other people. The reason why for letter B, part 2, the demand deposit does not change is because the in assets the excess reserves will increase by 5,000, but the government securities bonds will decrease by 5,000. So the total value of assets won't change, and which is why the total value of liabilities won't change, and they will still be equal to each other. So for part C, the maximum amount that the money supply can change as a result of the $5,000 purchase of bonds by the Federal Reserve is so $5,000 multiplied by the money multiplier, which is 1 over the required reserve ratio. So 5,000 multiplied by 1 over zero point 0.2 would be 25,000. For part D, the price of bonds will increase because if the Federal Reserve purchases bonds, this will increase the money supply, which will decrease the interest rate. So overall, if you decrease the interest rate, then the price of bonds will increase. Okay. So part E, so it's asking what will happen to demand deposits when um, an individual deposits $5,000 into her checking account. So the answer to that would be it doesn't change. The demand deposit wouldn't change because um, there wouldn't be any immediate change because the bank doesn't immediately hand out loans.